Over in the West, the Dockers, they're a really interesting study at the moment. Nat Fyfe returns as the sub. It was Starlight Children's Foundation night, which is such a big part of what the Dockers have done in their community over the years. Justin Longmuir got the win against the Hawks. So they are our coaches this Monday night after round 8. Justin, great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be on.
Justin, how challenging have you found the first 8 weeks of this fresh season?
Yeah, definitely. It's been probably the most challenging period in my coaching career. And I suppose we're just trying to search and trying to piece together our whole game. It's probably the most frustrating and challenging part is that, certain areas of our game have eluded us at certain times, and it hasn't just been one thing. So I thought on the weekend we were able to put our most consistent 4-quarter performance and all our phases connected as good as they have all year. So that was a good sign.
In the art of coaching, Justin, how delicate has the balance been between not overreacting, which is what happens externally, but reacting enough to assess the feedback that you're getting and make whatever change you feel is necessary?
Yeah, it is a real balance. Because quite often in the situation we're in at the moment, like the players' heads are full as it is. We're dealing with a lot of expectation externally and internally, to be honest. So that's sort of filled the players' minds up as it is. So you don't want to be giving him too much change week to week, and you need to be able to try and find a balance between giving him some positives and showing him some areas we need to work on. So yeah, that's been a bit of a challenging part of the season.
I don't ask this question often, Justin, but how were you coaching through that period?
I think certain aspects of my coaching was good. I was still building strong relationships and keeping strong relationships with my players, and I feel like I'm honest with my players, and through that period that remained really strong. I think, my game day coaching was still pretty strong, and I think I was able to give our players a path forward every week. So, I'm always trying to evolve my coaching, Robbo, and that's why we're in the industry largely. But I think, largely I was pretty consistent.
So the commentary, Justin, was, they can't move the ball. They're playing old footy. They got all these issues. Were you saying to yourself, that's right? Or were you saying they don't know what they're talking about? What was your reflection of what people were saying up against how your team was playing?
Well, to be honest, I think a lot of that commentary came off round 1 when we had 130 marks. But the thing that wasn't reported round 1 was we had the most handballs in the comp that round. We're large for metres gained from handball, which is a stat that experts use to justify a fast ball movement. And we got the ball inside 50, 65 times, and a lot of that was off turnover because we weren't getting it inside 50 off stoppage. So some of the criticism was fair and some of it was a little bit unjust. So my job as a coach is to filter through all that and give the players a path forward. We're able to do that.
Are you changing the game plan, Justin? Have we seen hints in the last 2 weeks of changes that you're making?
No, not really. I think we probably overdid our handball last week against Brisbane, which brought it front of mind. But we've been a high handball team all year. In our back half, we actually handball more than any other team in the comp, which I don't think anyone would recognise. But when you look at kick to handball, we handball more than any other team, maybe outside of GWS. So we are trying to take the game on. I think the thing that brings us undone is we haven't been able to finish off our work inside 50, and that was the case round 1. But on the weekend, we scored at 70% going inside 50 in the first half, and that makes your ball movement look a whole lot better.
Justin, did you like the look of Nat Fyfe's return as the sub?
Yeah, I did. I understand there's probably a little bit of criticism about playing sub, but I think the two options that were presented to me was he did another training session or he was sub, and my consensus was that he's going to be a better sub than anyone else we had on the list. So, I thought we managed it pretty well and got him enough time to be able to progress his build. And I think, 10 touches in 40 minutes of footy, probably knocked a bit of rust off on his end as well. So, hopefully it sets him up for some continuity ahead.
Health's been your best players that's playing good football for any coach. Andrew Brayshaw, how bad was his knee injury? Because he was absolutely sparkling on the weekend. And the other one was Luke Jackson, who we know he's got talent, and it just seemed to click for him on the weekend. He was hungry, he was aggressive, and I suppose, I don't know, we finally saw the best of Luke Jackson.
Yeah, and it's probably, from the outside looking in, it's taken a little bit of time for him to find his feet, and I think that's natural for anyone going to a new club. We sometimes forget how young he is. He's still 21. He's a young key forward trying to find his way, and has some unique strengths. On the weekend, I think he had 13 or 14 ground ball and 7 tackles, which you don't really see too many 200-centimetre ruckman doing. So he was fantastic. As for Andy, he's taken a little bit of time to get himself into the season. Probably been a little bit more inconsistent than last year, and that knee injury's probably just been a bit of a distraction more than a hindrance. But yeah, I was really proud of the way he bounced back on the weekend. His work rate was back to his elite level, and he had impact on the game.
Justin, Adam, bear with us. We'll broaden out the topics for our coaches on Monday night next. Our coaches are with us, Justin Longmuir in Perth and Adam Kingsley in Sydney. Adam, did you peek in yesterday and see the way that the Swans went about the Nick Dacos challenge? Not just the close checking, but the physical barrage that they employed?
Yeah, I saw a bit of the game, not all of it, but enough to see that they were certainly trying to quell his influence with with a real intimidatory style, I guess you'd call it, and trying to unsettle him. It didn't seem to work all that well. He for such a young player, he's so mature and composed. It's difficult to unsettle him, I would imagine.
Do you think that's part of football, Adam? You're an old head now in the game. Do you think it's an accepted part of footy?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so long as it's all above board, there's nothing illegal to it. I think it's fine. You're allowed to unsettle players, particularly the best ones in the opposition team, to try and gain an advantage. And so long as it's done in the right way, then I think it's fine.
So it's an obvious question, and you probably lied to us, but that's okay. Are you going to employ are you going to employ similar tactics, or go after Josh?
Yeah. Look, he'll certainly get attention from us. I mean, he's a wonderful player. He's been so influential, across the course of the season for the Magpies and their ability to win games. But he's not the only one either, and they've got a lot of good players. Interestingly, with the Magpies, they're relying on a different source so far, as I understand it, to win games, which is obviously really good for them, but something that we need to be really wary of.
So, Justin, you're a few weeks removed from those sorts of scenes around Rory Law, but what are your reflections on whether that is, or how that sits in the game, the roughing up of an opponent?
I'd probably sit with Adam, as long as it's all above board and nothing illegal. I think it's fair game to some degree. Like, I didn't see the Nick Dacos stuff on the weekend, but yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't as a coach. You've got to do something to be able to quell the influence of opposition players. So, I think as long as it's all above board and fair, and I think it's fair game.
So we're in a discussion around the booing of Lance Franklin, Jason Horne-Francis as well, these aren't straightforward conversations, I don't feel. Justin, do you have a view around the fan base singling out a player in the opponent, in the opposition team, and sort of hounding them around the ground during a game?
Yeah, well, you mentioned the Rory Lobb stuff a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, our fans have booed players that have left and come back and played against us, and I think that's probably where the line's drawn for me. There's probably a little bit of fun in that, and a little bit of passion in terms of the fans seeing an ex-player playing for someone else. But I don't see the sense in booing a champion or booing a young player who's chosen to leave another club when they're playing at their home ground, in Jason Horne-Francis's case at the Adelaide Oval. So I think we need to draw the line there.
Kingers, did you watch the Melbourne game? Did you see the Jacob van Rooyen act
No,
with?
no, I didn't see. I've seen it. I've seen it on replay, but I didn't see it live. No.
Right, that'll do. You've seen it on replay. Do you think he should be suspended for that action?
I think it'd be very stiff to miss. I think it looks like he's really trying to go for the ball. The only thing is, where are his eyes? What's his intent? You can typically judge the player's intent through their eyes, and it feels like to me he was trying to compete and get the ball on the ground. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, typically you got the eye test. Did it look like it was suspendable? Probably not in my view.
What about you, Justin?
Yeah, probably agree with a lot of that. I think the thing that hurts him in that case is the fact that he took his eyes off the ball, but usually that's just a free kick. And do like the way the AFL have looked after the head and concussion in particular. So, but yeah, I think we can draw the line that it's probably a footy act, and he was trying to make a play on the ball.
Justin, I want to congratulate you for doing a cross from the nightclub in Perth with the lights on there in the background. So.
Yeah, I'm at the footy club. This is a new players' room. I'm not at home. My wife wouldn't allow me to paint the rooms purple at home.
And you, Adam, can you do something with the wall behind you, mate? Put some posters up.
Yeah, it's probably a bit boring like me, to be fair, Robert.
Hey, just as we let you go, Adam, will Toby Green play this weekend?
I expect him to. He'll train later on in the week with a view to playing, but I would expect he will.
Very good. Great to have you both with us. Thanks a lot.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Les.
Thanks, guys.